Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Oh my god, I do apologize for the delay. We did have an extended break here, but we have returned with the HomeStory Cup 27. I'll pop back in soon. 27 playoffs, the final day here of HomeStory Cup, and we are jumping into our fresh best of 5. We are jumping into the upper bracket semi-finals. Los Semifinals, and here we go. Spawning in the top left hand corner of Pylon, we have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the Red Zerg representing Team Vitality. It is Zoun. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Terran player, the Blue Terran, representing Team Vitality as well as their teammates. It is Ryung. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we jump into our fresh best of 5. Once again, I do apologize for the delayed start. I do apologize. We were meant to begin a little bit earlier, but we were looking for the tuna. The tuna was missing, baby. The tuna was missing. We found the tuna. He was eating pizza, of all things. He was missing. We were trying to find him. We have found him, of course. Vitas is done. Now we can jump into our series, and here we go. We have Zoun opening up with a proxy. Oh my god. Este Zoun, papi. The proxy is upon us. Meanwhile, Ryung is going for an economic opener. Economic opener going for a rack to expand. Single gas opener out of our South Korean Terran player. And Zoun, his opener is designed to try to punish an economic start. Let's go. So far, things are lining up here for Zoun. Again, Ryung, he should be going for a CC on the low ground after the racks, going for a delayed factory. As a result, the factory is going to be later, the Hellion's going to be later, it's going to be delayed, which means the excess units here of Zoun can excel. As here comes that CC, and the goal, again, should be to delay. This command center. As the gateway is in production, first one is done. I was going to say, typically we go for the gateway, we go proxy zealots rallying across the map, and then we reinforce with adepts. We'll see how we open up here. Gateways are done. Ooh, we are waiting for the cyber core. Okay, so we're not rushing into the first zealots, waiting for the cyber core. From here, there we go. Adepts are on the way. Adept from back at home, and the stalker from across the map. And again, the goal here should be to shut down that command center. For the time being, Ryung isn't aware. Ryung, he has not scouted across the map. He's not aware what's going on, and no SCV scout. He's checking with Marines, though. He's checking the third base location. He's checking the, just outside the bases as well. But so far, he is none the wiser. And here comes the stalker, and again, the goal here is the SCV. Stalker has revealed, or is revealed. Marine does fall back. The first Marine does go down. The SCV is under fire, and the CC is going to be delayed. Yeah, boys are being pulled. And Ryung, he has to finish that CC. He does have to finish. Once again, another worker is going to be targeted down, and it looks like the CC should complete. It's going to cost a lot of workers, a lot of spine time. As we do get another worker here on the SCV. Oh no! Oh my god! The CC is going to be delayed. He gets one, and it looks like it does barely finish towards the end. Oh my god, that was close. That was too close for comfort. The CT does complete, but for a cost, at a cost of 5 SCVs. 5 workers do go down. Boys are being pulled to repair. Another worker does fall. Another 2 workers even. The cyclone will deflect. That's going to be 7 SCV kills. We're stuck on one base, and behind this, Zoun expands. Zoun is expanding. He is transitioning. Backing up from here, building up more stalkers, ideally waiting on the high ground and hoping that Ryung does overextend. We can see behind this Ryung, he's staying here on one base, and he's contained on one base not much longer. Let's go. Let us go. I would say a successful start here for Zoun. Ideally, he did want to actually stop the base from finishing, stop the CC from completing, and maybe even forcing a cancel on the low ground. That would have been the most ideal, but regardless, a strong start here for Zoun. Behind this, again, he's expanding, he's saturating. Behind this, going for his own Twilight Council follow-up. Twilight Council into most likely Blink, and he's once again double-checking, ensuring that there's still no base. Ryung just now expanding. Again, he's down at 4 probes, or 4 workers. Down 4 workers. Now it does expand. Behind this, a second factory is on the way. Tank production has begun, so we do have a mech-based follow-up here out of Ryung. Crazy follow-up here out of our Terran player. But Ryung, he's one of the few that doesn't break mech in this matchup. One of the few. As CC once again is going to be heavily delayed. Yes, there's a tank on the high ground, but he doesn't have no control of the low ground. Base going down to half HP. The tanks, they will hold, but alas, Ryung is still stuck on one base. He just wants to expand, papi. Just wants a CC. As the base is not being taken. Tank is repositioning. Adepts, they do threaten a shade. But the wall is open. Sorry, the wall is up, I should say. The wall is up, the wall is solid. Behind this, Zoun will expand, claiming a third base. Behind this, he's on a 2-gate setup, so 2-gate blink into a third. Is an economic build here by Zoun, as he will expand before his gases. So before the gases, before the robo, before the follow-up here, does take his third base. Just now taking his gases, working towards eventually splash damage. As we have a third factory, let's go. Now, the one thing that I will say in favor of Ryung here is that there's no scout into the main. Zoun, he does not know what's coming his way. We have Magful accelerators, we have another factory, we have full-blown mech. And based on what Zoun has seen, he can't really confirm that yet. He's seen 2 tanks, he's seen 2 cyclones. Now it is. now he dives into the main base with hallucination, he confirms all the factories. Now he's fully aware of what's going on. He also saw the researching tech lab, so he knows that Magful accelerators is going to be on the way as well. And from here, Zoun is going to need charge. Charge, forge, upgrades, immortals. Yep, speaking of, there it is. Charge immediately does begin. Charge is on the way. When it comes to this kind of mech-based composition, Zealots are ideal just because of how cheap they are. Likewise, they do a great job at tanking and baiting out Magful accelerators, or I should say Lock-ons from the Cyclones. They do a great job tanking. And a great job supporting Stalkers. Also a great job at diving on top of siege lines and on top of tanks as well. Oh, nice dive. Nice blink. Gets one. Gets one Cyclone. Nice pick up here from Zoun. Meanwhile, Ryung going for a third CC. Meanwhile, as he gets a third, Zoun gets a fourth. Again, Zoun just perpetually up a base here, just to maintain his own economy. Just maintaining his own economic lead. Charge is now finishing. There's a Fortune +1. Again, we're not rushing into splash damage. Right now, splash damage is not the priority. It's not about Colossus, not about Disruptors, not about Storm. It's about a cheaper gateway army. There we go, into Archons. Wildcat's on the way. Throwing down extra gateways. Staying on a low gas count. No gases here at the third base. Only 1 gas at the natural. Just fixated on purely mineral income for all those charge lots. Speaking of, Zelda moving out. Immortal as well. Now, Zoun, he should not be pushing into this position. Right? You can see how heavily fortified it is. We have Widowmines, we have tanks, we have Cyclones, we have SimCity as well. Ideally, you want to wait for Ryung to break out, like this. So Ryung, he's spreading himself thin, moving out into the open, at least further out into the open to expand and take the third. Now Zoun can break forward. Speaking of, ooh, doesn't quite get the Cyclone. But now this area is more accessible here for Zoun. And Zoun is looking for a way in. Rotating over. Behind the story now more gateways. Again, still staying on a low gas count. Observer gets caught. Nice catch there from Ryung. Very nice. Is rotating. Gee, that's a lot of tanks. That's 7 tanks. Again, as we mentioned before, like Zoun, he does not want to push into this, and I'm loving the SimCity here. CC is on the way, again, creating a choke point here for his tanks. Zoun will take another base. Zoun, he pokes in, he nibbles away at the army. Rotating back around to drop in towards the natural. Going for a Zealot drop. Building up more upgrades. And Ryung is looking secure. Again, this third base is a little bit more exposed as the tanks are further back. But again, right now, Ryung, it's all about just defending. Just defending, turtling, slowly expanding. Drop into the mineral line. Denies some mining. Nothing major. Going for the warp into the main. Does force a bigger reaction at the same time. Zoun pushing in. And can he get himself the tanks? He can. There we go. One tank goes down. He gets one. Going for the other. Boys are being pulled. Zealous, they do catch out the tank line. And it looks like he will break through. 3, 4, 5, 6 tanks going down. Takes on the middle line as well. And again, Ryung just out of position. He did respond too hard to the prism. And with that, Zoun can pull away. Zoun, he lost a lot of his gateway army here, but it was worth it. It was more than worth it. As the Cyclone army does rotate. Does force Zoun back. But again, he got he got tanks, he got the economy, got 19 SCVs. Solid cleanup. In the end, it was 5 tank kills, 3 from Zoun, 2 from friendly fire. So 5 tanks went down. And Zoun is maxed. Zoun is about to max out. And at this point, because of his heavy supply lead, he can fight it efficiently. He can just push into the siege line. And even if he doesn't kill Ryung, even if he just kills maybe 3 tanks and a couple of cyclones and the mineral line, it's worth it. Even if he trades out his army. Because he can just rebuild and remax. As Zoun, he has a bank. He has a bank. He has all the bases. He has all the economy. Now he's moving in. And with that, does once again break down that siege line. 3 more tank kills. And he's not going to stop. Yeah, he's not going to stop. Zoun's coming from behind. GG gets called. And Zoun, he takes game number 1. Whew. GG. GG will play it again. Just a really solid start out of Zoun. Winding it back. Remember, Zoun, he opened up with a proxy across the map, a proxy gateway, 2-gate opener. He was able to punish Ryung so hard at the start of the game. Remember, he killed 5 SCVs. I think in total he killed 7 in total, 7 SCVs. He delayed the expansion. He did force it to be lifted, and he contained Ryung for such a long time on 1 base. We even saw Ryung try to re-expand, and then it was forced to lift again for a 2nd time. As it was just a really rough start, a really rough opener there for Ryung, as he failed to, he was unable to scout. He went for an economic opener as well. And alas, he did just lose too many SCVs trying to save that CC and trying to get it up and running. From there, he was just perpetually contained. And he was unable to get any damage done across the map. Now that I think about it, there was never any drop play, there was never any move outs, no Hellion drop or Hellion run by or Cyclone counterattack or Liberate or anything like that. He was just perpetually stuck at home. Zoun, he was left alone the entire game to do whatever he wanted, to do whatever he so chose to. GG. GG well played. With that, we're now getting into the next game. We're getting into game number 2. Let's go. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of the ley lines, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the Red Protoss representing Team Vitality, leading the series 1-0. It is Zoun. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the Blue Terran representing Team Vitality down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back and make a series out of this. It is Ryung. Here we go. And again, when it came to game number 1, we had Ryung almost stabilized as well, right? He was building up a hefty tank count, he was securing himself, but again, Zoun, he wasn't overextending, right? He was poking, prodding, he never overcommitted or overextended into the tank line. The only time he really committed to a fight was when he got the prism into the main, right? He was able to create an opening, he did just tear Ryung apart. Ryung, he overreacted, or he had to react to the prism, and he had to react to the warp in as well, so he exposed himself, and GG well played. Zoun, he was able to just pull apart the attention and the army of Ryung. But here we go. This time, no proxy. This time, there's no proxy gateway. There's no shenanigans here from Zoun. Does move in. Single gas opener out of Ryung. So Ryung once again going for an economic opener, just like last game. This time, Zoun going for a standard opener. So we're going to settle in, and this time Ryung should be having a bit of a more comfortable start to the game. As the probe is being as annoying as possible. Oh! Does dip in. He will delay the CC for a second or two. Nothing major. Nothing major here. As Zoun does pull away. And we'll see where Ryung takes us from here. We could even go into Hellion production, into Reactor Reaper Hellion. We can go into, typically we see earlier Tech Lab, into Add-on Swap, into Defensive Cyclone to maintain this position. Otherwise we could go Marine into a Safety Bunker. There it is, Tech Lab is on the way, and this I would imagine is going to be for an Add-on Swap into Cyclone. Meanwhile, we do see Zoun going for a bit of a tamer approach. He does open up with a single sentry, and we often do see like a second sentry to harass across the map to shade into deny mining. But here it's going to be sentry into, here it's going to be adept into sentry, not double adept. So the sentry is just for scouting. The first adept is going to move in, but shouldn't really get too much done here. The Cyclone is on the way. Command center is done, and the adept can get one worker kill. Oh, the Jinx. Gets one shot off, and gonna get the other. Oh my god. As the SV does pull away, again, the intense micro between the worker and the adept, and the SCV will survive. Adept does shade away as the Cyclone does pop out. Zoun, he will save the adept, meanwhile Ryung will save the SCV. Very intense, Pappy, very intense. God. That SCV fighting for its life. He's like, thank God, Jesus. That poor worker. He made it though, he made it. Behind this we have our standard follow-up here working towards Blink. Twilight Council into Blink. We have a 2 gate set up with a Robo as well on 2 bases. Going to be delaying the 3rd base a little bit here. We'll see if we go for another gateway. Meanwhile, Hallucination moves out, did already get eyes on the 1-1-1. It was initially a Cyclone opener, but no second Cyclone, no tank. Cyclone opener into a Mine Drop. Okay. Now this drop isn't really too committed here, it's only 2 Widow Mines. This is mainly for scouting, can get some damage, but more than anything is designed to get a read on what's going on. He needs to make sure there's no 4-gate blink setup, there's no hyper greedy build over the aggressive build, there's no hidden tech, there's no Stargate, true. We can see just 2-gate blink into a 3rd. It's going to be an economic opener here by Zoun. Very economic. And Ryung, he will soon confirm. Does boost in. Does spot the gases are just now being taken. Oh. So far getting 1 probe kill. Does get the 1. Gets 2 in total. So 2 workers, 1 Widow Mine does escape, and Ryung pulls away. See Zoun trying to intercept. Nice moves there by Ryung. He does pull away. Does pull away nicely. Does escape. Behind this, going to his own bio setup. Again, we had mech in game 1, but it also felt like we just had mech in game 1 because Ryung fell behind. So it felt almost necessary to try to recover and turtle and defend. This time it's a more stable start. So we have Stim on the way. Now, what I should emphasize here as well, before I get ahead of myself, is that this is really early Stim. Really fast Stim here from Ryung. It was the tech that was on factory into add-on swap into fast Stim instead, so just a really heavy bio army here. And something that is not often seen is that Ryung is actually not making any tanks. There was no factory production after the Widow Mine drop. So no tanks, just pure Marine Marauder, and just a big prioritization here on Stim. We have 2 more maxes on the way. Oh, Jesus. 2 more maxes. You can see them hidden here at the natural, going for a +1 timing. This almost looks like a 2-base all-in. Auto charge towards the 3rd base. 3 probes going down, but this is very aggressive. This is going to be a very strong timing here from Ryung. And we'll see if he can hit before the Colossus. We got the base on the way, working towards Colossus production. Going for add-ons. Never mind. We do see add-ons on the way. Typically, if this was a 2-base all-in, we wouldn't see add-ons. We would just commit, make extra Marines, and maybe even just pull the boys. With add-ons on the way, this will delay production, so most likely Ryung is going to expand behind this. But we'll see. As he does move out. And again, this is an earlier timing. You can see the bay isn't even done. And this is a very strong timing. +1 is finishing up just as this hits. Stalker's trying to engage, trying to slow this down. Oh! Gets a Marauder. Gets 1 Marauder. Gets another. 2 Marauders go down. Down to 4. Stims in. Yeah, this is for Sim. But he does have an auto turret. Doesn't quite use it. Mine's just going off. Nice switch there from Ryung. Oh. Ooh, but it looks like there is a little bit of latency here. That is the worst time for there to be latency as well. Just because we're in the middle of a fight. And, yeah, we might have to remake. Or at least just wait for things to clear up. Oh. Okay, we're good. Oh, jumping back in. Water shot is thrown down. Zeltse coming just in time, and with that, yeah, Zoun he holds. Zoun he holds. The Zeltse have arrived. With that, it'll force back Ryung. And again, this timing was designed to break the third, and it's failed to do so. Ryung being forced back. Again, the mine shots weren't good enough either. Say that, running out of Zeltse, the Immortal has arrived as well. Ryung stimming in, but nice controlling from Zoun. Zoun, he will clean this up. Mine shot goes off, but Zoun, he shuts this down. And remember, behind this, there's no third CC. There's no third base. Ryung, he's committed. He does hold the line, but he needs more than this. And now here comes the Colossus. Colossus almost done. Again, this timing was designed to break Zoun before the Colossus. Failed to do so. And now Ryung is falling behind. He's falling behind here. Zoun, he's up in workers, up in economy. Now we'll take a fourth base. He's going to be up 2 bases compared to Ryung. And things are looking dire here for our Terran player. He can't even afford a base. Like, he can't afford a CC. He's moving out with the second wave. But again, this time, there's a Colossus. That's what's brutal about this follow-up timing here from Ryung. This follow-up push. The Colossus has arrived. Cancel. Violent goes down. Zoun going for a run by at the same time. I mean, there's no CC to deny. But if there was, he's there to shut it down. And here it is. Ryung, either he breaks down or he dies trying. Match just going off. Nice mic, very nice mic connections on those Zealots. We have so many war drones behind this. 3 more mine shots available to go off. The mines are connecting. Colossus raining down the army. Zeltse catch reinforcements. 9 SCV. Oh, god. 9 SCV kills. Again, there's barely an economy to begin with. This is a 2-base all-in. This is a 2-base all-in at this point. It didn't pull the boys earlier, but still, I mean, there's no follow-up. Oh no! The Sim City! The Marines! They're trapped! Not like this. Not like this. See, this is why we don't get add-ons. This is... Oh no. I mean, they wouldn't have made the most difference, I don't think, but it doesn't help. Feels bad, man. Feels Sim City, man. As the Observer just has tabs here on the main army. Zoun, and now he should have a, yep, second Colossus. Second Colossus has arrived. And again, the longer this game goes on, the better it is for Zoun. As he's building up a greater army. Once again, going for another Zealot run by. I mean, there's not really much to kill. But he's going for it. Again, if there was a CC on location, then it would be cancelled. So again, catching reinforcements. There are a couple of Vikings. Okay. This is what, 3 Vikings. And they're being targeted down. They will get 1 Colossus. Yeah, 1 Colossus falls. Boys are being pulled. And again, with this, Ryung, he just rams his head against a brick wall here. Zoun, he defends. He shuts us down. We'll lose both Colossus, but GG gets called. And Zoun, he will hold. He will take a 2-0 lead. GG. Will take a lead here. And again, Ryung, it was a very interesting build is what I will say. Winding it back, remember, Ryung, he went for a economic opener into a tech lab, into a cyclone, mine drop, followed by really fast stim, which we did point out at the time was just really fast stim timing there by Ryung, hitting with +1 as well, going up to 5 Raxes, and he did take extra add-ons which did delay the follow-up, but regardless he did hit very hard with his +1 timing. Unfortunately, Zoun, he was able to see it ahead of time. He was able to scatter ahead of time. He saw the army pushing out. He was in position. He had his sentries, he had force fields, he had a charge finishing up towards the second half of the fight as well, and we saw that Ryung dealt 0 economic damage. He had to break the third, and he wasn't able to break the army. With that, GG well played. Zoun, he did a great job at engaging, at shutting down the push, at shutting down the all-in, and with that, GG. GG well played. Ryung, he had no follow-up, there was no third CC, there was no further tech, there was nothing else behind it, and now we're getting into game number 3. Let's go. Oh, one of the more vetoed maps in the map pool, actually. Up next, we're going to be loading into Torches. That's the benefit of these best of 5s, is that we get to feature some of these other maps like Last Fantasy, and like Torches as well. Let's go. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Torches, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing Team Vitality. It is Zoun. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Team Vitality as well as their teammates. It is Ryung. I'd micro my SCV like that and come back to 2,000 unspent minerals in the back. True. I was impressive. We were poking a little bit of fun at it, but it was very impressive that Ryung, he was able to save that SCV, preserve his early game, and build up. It was nice to see. Was sick. The interaction between the SCV and the Adept. But here we go. Double gas. Okay, double gas opener out of Ryung. This time Ryung is going for a delayed CC, but before we get into the builds themselves, welcome one and all to Torches. Torches is the second most vetoed map in the map pool. It's a rare sight, but we do get to experience Torches in best of 5s at least. So best of 5s, we get to see it a little bit more often. This map has a very short rush distance by air. So rush distance by air is very short from base to base. Because of that, we actually have seen some Stargate openers. Stargate openers have actually risen in popularity on Torches. Likewise, Banshee openers as well have also been quite popular. On top of that, we have these golden walls here, similar to El Dorado. True, similar to El Dorado, but again, the rush distance by ground is also shorter on this map than on El Dorado if both players mine through these minerals. You can open up the southern half, and you can open up access to the gold base as well. Gold bases are also going to be a factor. We have gold bases on the left hand side as well, and we also have a healing pad. This healing pad doesn't have air blockers, so any units can take advantage of the healing pad as well. On top of that, short rush distance by ground. It's just it's a small map, it's chaotic, it has its own quirks, and again is often vetoed. Another big feature specific to this matchup is, fun fact, there's no Reaper cliff into the main. Usually there's a cliff here, there's a cliff face into the main base for scouting information. On this map, because of the terrain itself, there's no cliff. There's no cliff into the main. You have to go through the natural, then just go straight to the main base itself, which makes it more difficult to scout. As you can see here, the Reaper is denied, and the Reaper has seen nothing yet, except for the expansion, which is as you would expect. So scouting to the main base with your Reaper early on is more difficult on this map. Oh, as a probe is caught, not bad. Takes down the probe. The Reaper will escape. Does barely get away. Did I speak too soon? Oh my god, one more shot. Oh Jesus. Barely gets away, does escape back at home. Twilight Council opener out of Zoun. But what is scary, as I just mentioned, is that we have seen Stargate openers rise in popularity here, so Ryung doesn't know. For all he knows, there could be a Stargate, or there could be a Twilight Council, could be a Robo, could be anything. Blue Station comes in, remember, double gas opener, faster factory, faster starport. It's going to be a Cyclone opener here into Medevac, but this could lead into, after the Cyclone, an add-on top into Banshee play. So we have to keep an eye here on Ryung. We'll see how he does handle that tech lab. But now you can see Hallucination as well. He's trying to see if it's going to be a Widowmine or a Cyclone. It is not uncommon to go for a tech lab, then make a mine, then add on top as well. So here comes a second Hallucination. And we'll get eyes on the Medevac. Does confirm the drop. Oh. He's going to be zoned away. And the hallucination does confirm no add-on swap, but we do have a tech lab on the way being built on the starport. Also, second racks. No mech. No mech, not this time. Tank production has begun. Remember, we didn't see a single tank last game. It was early stim. This time, much more standard follow-up. Oh. Cancels the tank. Okay. Okay. You have my attention. The drop is going to be denied. It's going to be zoned away. Zero tank production, going for an add-on swap. We're going for early stim again. Not as fast as last game, but I believe, yep, add-on swap into stim. No tanks, no Banshee, no Raven. Okay, so this is going to be another strong stim timing. It's not going to hit as quickly as last game, but is more quirky nonetheless. Is more unorthodox. That's maybe a better way of putting it. Meanwhile, he gets scattered. Hallucination does confirm, does see everything. Yeah, it does get eyes on the add-on swaps. Is now aware there's zero tank production. Third base is on the way. Now, on a standard map, winding it back here as the Stalkers are poking in, and they have the freedom to do so because there's no tanks. In a standard map, if there was no tank production here, Zoun, if he was able to scatter it early enough, he could throw down extra gateways and go into like 3 or 4 gate blink Stalker and try to punish and blink into the main. Specifically on this map, because of the terrain, you can see it's difficult to try to abuse a player that's skipping tanks, because typically you'd have a tank in the main base, tank in the natural you can defend against blink Stalkers. Here you can get away with skipping tanks because Stalkers, they have no access to the main. Like, the terrain itself makes it more difficult to be aggressive with blink Stalkers. So these Stalkers are not able to achieve as much as they otherwise would. So what I'm getting at is that this build specifically from Ryung is safer on torches than on other maps. Behind this, the gateway explosion, rushing into Storm. Let's go. Storm is on the way, charged alongside it. Did go for a faster third. I believe it was 2 gate? No, 3. Okay, it's 3 gate blink. 3 gate blink into a third base. Ryung is moving out. Stim is already done. Yeah, Stim is done. Combat Shields is done. +1 is finishing up just in time for this push. So a very crisp timing. The Observer does confirm. Zoun, he's rotating. Scan does reveal the rotation. And Ryung, he's looking for an opening. Zoun is ready in the main. And thankfully, Ryung, he did not boost in. Behind this, third CC. Not a 2-base all-in. Third CC is on the way. Again, that's going to be a third CC before the 4th and 5th racks. So we're headed towards the mid-game here. And Ryung backs off. And so far, I would say that Zoun is in a better position. Zoun, he's up to full 3-base saturation. He got away with Storm. He's now getting to +1. He's got Charge. The entire purpose of Ryung's build was to hit a timing here with +1 and Stim, and he wasn't able to hit it. Didn't quite hit it. He does have map control, true. And he doesn't lose his army, at least. Right? He's still active, he's still threatening. He's still keeping Zoun pinned in the bases. Hallucination goes in. Hallucination confirms that third CC. Now he knows. He's aware of the Ghost Academy, he's aware of the expansion. Zoun now knows it's safe to get a 4th. Oh.
Game paused.
And hopefully everything's... hopefully this isn't affecting the other series as well. But, yeah, last game there was a bit of latency. Here, a little bit of latency as well. So hopefully Showtime's match is unaffected. Or less affected. More than happy to wait it out. HomeStory Cup tracks again. I mean, this is not as bad as last time. If you remember last time, the mainstream was straight up dropping, like, and then players were dropping as well. Like last time, it was a lot worse. So this is nowhere near as nightmarish as HomeStory Cup number 26. And again, up until now, it's been smooth. Like yesterday, there were no issues. Day 1, there were no issues. It's just here in day 3, there's been some hiccups here and there. But overall, it's been okay. It's been okay. It's been fine. Yo, someone tell Dennis to stop downloading on Steam. Like, what's Este Dennis. Aye. Now, much love to take, much love. As the game does calm down. Again, Zoun, he is, of course, taking his fourth base. Remember, sorry, winding it back. Remember, Zoun, he saw the third. He saw the third CC. That is the prompt to take a fourth. So he's expanding, getting another base. Likewise, Storm is done. Now working towards Colossus, refining his splash damage, diversifying his splash damage. But we have a game. We have a setup here. This third is so difficult to defend. As you can see, it's on the low ground. It's open here from all angles of attack. That's another awkward part of this map as well. Is some of the bases are more difficult to maintain. Ooh, a storm safe. Oh god, it does run into the storms. The storms, they do not stop. Yeah, Ryung, he does take the storms to the face, and Zoun is just going for it. He's just going for it. He's going to chase down Ryung. Brutal storms. At the same time, Zella run by into the naturalist. He's going to be going down, and in the blink of an eye, everything just goes south. Everything just falls apart. Ryung, he was holding his own, everything was fine, and then Storm. Oh god, the storms, they keep coming. Takes down the mineral line. Colossus going ham as well. 26 SCV kills. And Ryung, he might barely hold on. Another storm comes in. GG, and with that, Zoun, he will take the game. Will take the series. GG. Aye. GG, well played. Feels bad, man. Again, like, the storms were brutal. As we saw, Ryung, he did run into the main army, did run into the High Templar. The storms were quite brutal there, and with that, the entire army just crumbled before us, before Zoun, before Ryung as well. GG. I thought for rematch. That's what it means. That's what it means. I'm pretty sure he was joking. I'm pretty sure he was joking. But yes, I mean, they're both good friends. Remember, Zoun and Ryung, they're both teammates. They're both good friends. So they like joking. Yeah. But with that, GG, well played. Was the mainstream, were they covering it as well? No, they just wrapped up this series. Hey, we just wrapped up at the same time. And Zoun, he's gonna have a winners interview. So Zoun does take it, and we do have a winners interview here. Let's catch up. Let's go. We got Zoun on the casting couch. We got Luke.
Watched that many of your games, but how do you feel like it went?
일단 승리한 거 축하드리고 사실 그 메인스트리밍을 많이 보느라 많은 게임을 보진 못했는데 어떤
I'll boost the volume. Hold on.
기쁘긴 한데 동원이 형 불가리아 때도 이기고 지금도 이겨가지고 미안한 마음이 좀 크긴 해요.
I'm really glad to win, but it's a little bit sorry for the Ryung because he win. I win for Ryung also at the Bulgaria, so a little bit sorry. Feel sorry.
Yeah. Well, if you win a tournament, you have to, right? Like, you can't feel too bad. How do you feel about your game right now in general? You seem to be playing, well, maybe better than ever before. Do you feel like you're also right now riding like a high?
지금까지 했던 대회들보다 좀 경기력이 괜찮은 것 같은데 지금 경기력이 어느 정도라고 생각하는지 굉장히 좋다고 느끼는지 아니면은
사실 오프라인 무대를 이제 군대 전역하고 와서 몇 번 안 했기 때문에 부족하다고 생각을 해서 홈스토리 컵을 하는 거거든요. 그래서 아직은 많이 부족하다고 생각합니다.
I came to HomeStory Cup to play more and more the offline tournament here, so I feel so a little bit my performance is not perfect that I thought.
Okay. You have any questions?
You're gonna face Showtime in the next round. How do you feel about this matchup coming up?
이번 다음 경기에서 쇼타임 선수를 만나게 됐는데 어떤지.
일단 반대편에 토스가 확정이었기 때문에 약간 부담감이 많이 있습니다.
It was the make sure there would be the Protoss player in the opposite side, so it's very pressure and a little bit nervous.
Yeah, stylistically, you and Showtime play quite similarly. Does that make it more difficult? Like SOS is kind of crazy, but Showtime is just quite similar stylistically as Zoun is.
쇼타임 선수랑은 그러니까 김유진 선수랑 다르게 쇼타임 선수랑은 좀 비슷한 성향의 플레이 스타일을 가지고 있는데 그게 더 부담감을 느끼는 요인 중에 하나가 되나?
일단 운영도 잘하고 그다음에 전략도 잘 쓰는 선수라고 생각을 하기 때문에 부담감이 더 있기는 합니다.
Feels more pressure because Showtime is really good at macro game and also he used a very special strategy builds. So yeah, it feels so a little bit more pressure. Yeah.
Okay. And last question?
I don't have anything.
Okay. Thank you very much and congratulations. Good luck.
Yeah, thank you.
감사합니다.
All right. So very fun.
And yeah, shout out to Loco, shout out to Tassad. I believe that was Tassad as well on the casting couch with Loco for having that interview with Zoun. It would have been nice if they asked him a little bit about, you know, about traveling to HomeStory Cup again. I think Zoun, he's been to HomeStory Cup before, or is this his first one? I'll have to double check. Oh, Jesus. I'll have to double check. HomeStory Cup 26. Was he there? 26. I know that a lot of the Team Vitality boys were there, but that was before Zoun joined. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I think this might be the first HomeStory Cup that Zoun is in. So it would have been nice if they asked him a little bit about it, a little bit about the atmosphere, a little bit about the vibes, the tournament itself, the setting, you know, whether he's gonna get some drinks and have a good time before his next match. Yeah, it would have been fun to have heard a little bit more about, you know, Zoun as a person more so than the games themselves. But regardless, with that, GG, well played. Zoun does claim the series, does take the 3-0, and with that, we have our bracket. We have our updates. Let's go. We have the updated bracket here. Exclamation mark being the chance to have a look at the bracket yourselves. Here we go. Okay. Here we go as we do, there we go, head on down. Showtime just took down SOS 3-2, went all the way to the ace match. Oh my god, it was very intense, very back and forth. Showtime does claim it. Showtime advancing on to the upper bracket finals. Meanwhile, Zoun, of course, we just covered, took down Ryung 3-0. And we have a Showtime versus Zoun in the upper bracket finals. Meanwhile, we have SOS versus Ryung in the lower bracket finals as well. I believe the mainstream, they have it from here on forward. They're going to be covering SOS and Ryung. They're going to then jump up and cover Showtime and Zoun. Then they'll go back down, cover lower bracket finals, and then bam, the grand finals thereafter. So if you want to tune into the rest of this tournament, and I do recommend, check out the mainstream, exclamation, I should say twitch.tv/taketv. Again, it's going to be covered by those over at the event itself. And again, HomeStory Cup is always a little fun. Typically, it's a little bit different just because they have a rotating cast of casters. I say that. They have a rotating cast of casters, players, community members. You know, they bring on some of the other players. Sometimes, I mean, yesterday they just had on Tassad. He's like a high-ranking, I think, admin or player manager of the Platinum Heroes, or at least he was a player manager. I think he's just an admin or an officer, I should say, for Platinum Heroes. A big member of the community, running events as well. We have Loco there, of course. We had the SC Historian. I saw Bomioja, he was also there as well on the casting couch. Magnath, all the players, of course. I saw Eon Blue. I love Eon Blue. He's good. I love Eon. Este Eon Blue. Eon Blue, he's also there, and many others. So yeah, it's definitely worth checking out, and it's definitely a great vibe and atmosphere to be a part of as well. You know, one of the highlights of yesterday was the French crowd and the rest of the crowd as well, just getting behind Shino against SOS was beautiful to see. Just the crowd chanting. They were chanting the French national anthem for their boy Papi. It was beautiful. So it was amazing. And it's great to see, at least for this event, that Showtime, there's some German representation, right? They had Showtime, Lambert, and Big Gabe as a part of the top players here in the playoffs, and they still have, you know, a home field player as a part of the event as well, which is going to mean a lot to the crowd at Krefeld in Germany. So I'm sure they're going to get wild. I'm sure they're going to get wild for a showtime. So he will have that home field advantage. Coming into this, when it comes to who I think is going to be favored here, it's a hard one to call. I mentioned earlier that, like, you know, in my mind, when we started the broadcast, how like Zoun and Showtime, they're like the two that stand out to us here. I mentioned before that Ryung, his matchup is TvT, like he can take it to any Terran player in the world, but his other matchups are a little bit weaker. SOS, like he is a historic player, he has a legacy behind him, and in PvP, anything can happen. True. But actually, I want to say that SOS versus Ryung is going to be a close one. I think Ryung has a good chance there. I think it's going to be close. I look forward to it. I think it's going to be a banger of a series. Showtime versus Zoun, it's going to be a hard one to call. I think Loco was saying that, like, oh, Zoun, how do you feel about Showtime? He's a little bit more similar to your playstyle. I mean, I don't know if Loco didn't watch GSL Season 2, but Zoun is an animal. If you remember, GSL Season 2, in the group stage, Zoun versus Hero, and even before that as well, Zoun, he cannon rushed Hero, and he won. Like, Zoun, he cannon rushed Hero, and he went for a proxy 1-base all-in, he went for a 2-base all-in. Like, Zoun did nothing but cheese against Hero in the most recent season of GSL. So Zoun has been hyper aggressive, and even before that, I remember Zoun, he was having a bit of a harder time in PvP, and he was even asking Hero for some advice about PvP as well. And I will say that Zoun, his PvP is much more aggressive nowadays, much more, at least from what we've seen in recent times. So that's not going to be, that shouldn't be just like your standard, like, quote-unquote European PvP where we get up to 2-3 bases, where we you know, a gentleman's agreement of just going into Blink Stalker, into Immortal, Archon Charge, into a 4th base, into a long macro game. That might happen at some point in the series, don't get me wrong, but I do think there's a high chance of some more aggression there. Also, if you know anything about Showtime, and if you've been watching Showtime versus Max Packs, or Showtime versus Hero as well, Showtime is also very cheesy as well. Like, Showtime has a reputation of being like Demauer, of being like a very defensive player. But specifically in PvP, Showtime, he's willing to go for proxies, he's willing to go for all-ins. Like, there's no... Yeah, like the gloves are off. The gloves are off. The pants are down. Like, like PvP. Even someone is renowned for his like macro or defensive play as Showtime. Even he is even more aggressive in PvP as well. So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. So best of luck to Showtime, to Zoun, to SOS, and to Ryung as well. Of course, we're gonna be wrapping up here on the B stream. If you enjoyed the broadcast, if you want some more CranKy Ducklings, bam, you can see here. This was this last week's weekly schedule, but we do cast on a daily basis here on the CranKy Ducklings. I'm sure some of you are maybe watching for the first time. You're like, oh, you know, we just came for HomeStory Cup. We've been casting daily. We cast more StarCraft than anyone else out there, more than Wardy, more than Steadfast, more than anyone else. We cast typically twice a day, every single day for the past like 5 years. We started going full-time during COVID, basically, so 2020. Like, during COVID, that's when we started committing more time to StarCraft and devoting more time to StarCraft, to the point where we are now, where, again, we cast every single day, typically multiple times a day as well. This week, we took it easy because of HomeStory Cup. Technically, we could have been casting earlier as well, and we could have had more events over the weekend, but we wanted to make sure we were well rested, and we wanted to make sure that we were, you know, in good form for HomeStory Cup. It's a big event, so we wanted to make sure that we were good to go. But our next broadcast should be tomorrow, I believe. Wardy TV Monday. Let me just double check here. Yes. So actually, can I? Hey, you can see Wardy TV Monday on Monday at 8 p.m. KST. You can see there on our Monday schedule, that's going to be our next broadcast. That is going to be in less than 24 hours time, so that's going to be our next cast. Also, we're going to be doing a replay cast on Tuesday morning of DreamHack Dallas. Basically, for those who don't know, we were also the B stream for DreamHack Dallas. We were also a side stream for DreamHack Dallas as well, and we were casting it live here on the channel. But despite us casting, despite the main stream also going on, and Steadfast was also casting DreamHack Dallas as well, despite that, there were still a lot of games that were never casted in the group stage, in the open stage. There were a lot of games that were never casted, so we are going to be catching up on some of those matches on Tuesday. I did want to try to at least cast all the matches that didn't get casted before EWC, because we're also going to be casting EWC as well. So that's going to be on the 1st of July. We have Euthermal 2-2 circuits as well. We have Pegasaur Cup. We have the Pondcast. You can see there on Thursday. If you're curious, what is the Pondcast? That is our weekly talk show, our weekly wrap up weekly wrap-up show of all things StarCraft, going over interviews and all the news and all the tournament results as well. Our last podcast just got uploaded to YouTube, and we were going over the Fear Dragon interview. Shout out to Ravi. Fear Dragon, he was at DreamHack Dallas, and there was a big interview with him and the SE Historian. Jumi just had an interview as well. We were going over that, and we were going over a bunch of other content, the StarCraft Illusion balance patch notes as well, and a bunch of everything else StarCraft. So again, that's our weekly talk show. Likewise, we also have a HomeStory Cup replay cast. True. Right, this is actually relevant to what we just covered here. Bam. Okay, so fun fact, we just wrapped up the group stage yesterday and the day before that. And if you were here for it, you would know one of the brutal things about it is that every round, there were 3 matches. Every round, there were 3 matches, and there's only 2 streams. There's us, the B stream, and then the main stream. So only 2 matches were casted every single round. So for a lot of these groups, there's 5 series that didn't get casted. For each group, there's 5 series that didn't get casted. And we have access to the replays. So later on this week, we are going to be casting all those matches that didn't get casted. So there's 5 series for Group A, 5 for Group B, 5 for Group C, and 5 for Group D. So we're going to be doing a replay cast, catching up on all these matches that didn't get casted. So we're going to be doing that at the end of the week. That's going to be, let's have a look here. That's going to be on the 3rd of July, so on Thursday. So Thursday and Friday, so 2 casts. We're going to break it up into 2 casts, and we're going to be catching up on all those matches that didn't get casted. That's also why we're live every day, because there's just so much StarCraft to cover. So we're going to be catching up with that. And if you heard about the new Polish LAN that's around the corner, the Polish LAN qualifiers are this weekend. So this weekend that's coming up, we are going to be the official English casters for the Polish LAN event for the qualifiers and for the event itself. So that's going to be the upcoming weekend. Again, just a really busy month here with the Fusion Esports League Polish event in Krakow. That's going to be an offline tournament. We have EWC at the end of the month. We have, what else? Epic LAN is also around the corner. And StarCraft Illusion League as well is next month. So plenty of content, plenty of StarCraft, as always, here on the CranKy Ducklings. As always. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Otherwise, thank you for watching. Should we get a show match? Oh no. But yes, with that, we're going to be wrapping up here for the time being. But again, if you enjoy the content and if you want some more StarCraft, then consider following us here on the CranKy Ducklings. We also stream on YouTube at the same time. And if you see something that you like here, and if you cannot watch it live, then check us out on YouTube, because all the VODs are there on a daily basis. So plenty of VOD content, plenty of VODs are there, so you can watch them at your own convenience. Otherwise, we're done. Otherwise, wrapping up. Otherwise, thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for tuning in. And we're going to be giving the mainstream a raid. So give some love to everyone over at HomeStory Cup. We'll be raiding the mainstream, and they'll have you covered for the rest of the event. We'll be watching from here at home as well. From the chat, from the Twitch chat, we'll be watching. We'll be watching. We'll be there for all the PvPs. So thank you so much. Hope you all had a great time. Again, exclamation mark socials in the chats, and you get a link to our Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Discord, TikTok, Blue Sky, Mastodon, all things CranKy Ducklings. And we'll see you guys tomorrow for the Wardy TV Monday, or enjoy the rest of your weekend with HomeStory Cup. HomeStory Cup 27. Again, it's going to be amazing, going to be beautiful. Much love to Take, much love to Dennis and all those working behind the scenes. And do support the mainstream. Do support them. Otherwise, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Until then, ciao, bye, ciao. Hasta luego. Have a great rest of your weekend.